Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to Bald Father Bets. So we will go over every play that we have for Saturday today, do a little bit of college football futures talk, even though we don't bet futures here, just a few insights that we have. But first, going to give a quick overview of our play from Thursday night. But what I would like you guys to do is make sure you are subscribed to the channel, notifications on, so you get our community posts, and then just support the channel, like, share, comment. We don't ask for much around here, just that we grow the channel. We'll always keep the picks free as we continue to win, but if you're betting with us, if you're winning with us, please support and help us grow the channel. So Thursday night football, we had a 10-unit win on the Jets. Very close to breaking the seal on the 10 units on that one. I know I've said that twice now. Loved that play. Obviously it won. First half was a little difficult with the dropped ball before the goal line that took the touchdown away from the Jets. But really, when you include that and you look at that combined with the overall score, I mean, this one really should have been a blowout for the Jets. But hopefully you guys actually made some personal plays at halftime and took that one beyond 10 units. I might have. So big win for us there, but Jets got it done. All right, so now looking at today, College Football Saturday. Some of these we've already given out in videos, community posts. Some of them are new. I'm just gonna run through all of them for you guys. So we have Miami minus 20.5 for 2 units against Duke. I think that Duke is a little bit overvalued at 6-2. They, in order to keep the game close with SMU, they had to be +6 in the turnover margin last week, and they still lost. So Duke, to me, is not as good as their record is showing right now. There is the emotional factor of Manny Diaz going up against Miami, but I don't care. I don't think Manny Diaz is that good. I mean, I'm a little biased, right? Because he was the defensive coordinator at Texas, and they were like Swiss cheese. But I think the Penn State defenses he had in the past few years were less of a product of him and more of a product of the talent that they had and then the system that James Franklin runs. So we are on Miami minus the 20.5 for 2 units. We are taking Penn State plus the 3.5 against Ohio State for 2 units. I don't like it. It's a system play. My gut tells me Ohio State, but the system, the models, everything. I mean, there's an argument that Penn State should actually be favored in this one. So if you're getting it at the plus 3.5, you can't pass it up. So it's only a 2-unit play because I do not love it at all. I think I've said multiple times, I think Ohio State's the best team in the country. Ultimately, I think they have the best chance to win the national title. So, but this week it's Penn State at home, plus 3.5 for 2 units. We're taking Ole Miss minus 7 for 2 units against Arkansas. Ole Miss is probably the most underrated team in the country right now. They have one of the nastiest defenses. They have a very explosive offense. The difference between this Ole Miss team and teams that Kiffin has had in the past is the defense. Arkansas is a boom or bust team. One week they'll put up 60 points, and the next week they'll be minus 3 turnovers in the first quarter and game's over. We're hoping they have a ladder game here. But Ole Miss minus 7 for 2 units. Auburn minus 6.5 for 3 units against Vandy. I love this one. It would be a 10-unit play if it wasn't for the fact that Auburn is Auburn. But I think Auburn's a much better team than Vanderbilt. They're at home. I think I talked about it a little bit before. There's like a group of teams which have all averaged more than 6.5 yards of play on offense and given up less than 5 yards of play on defense. They're all like undefeated, 1-loss, 2-loss teams, and then there's Auburn, who only has 2 wins on the year. But they're a much better team than their record indicates. And we are taking Auburn minus the 6.5 for 3 units. Florida plus 17 for 2 units. Just too many points in a Florida-Georgia game. This is the annual. I've only been doing this channel now this year. I'm on Florida every year in this game, and every year they get blown out. So this is my annual just giving money to the Florida-Georgia game. But I'm going to be on the right side when it finally happens. We're taking Florida plus the 17 for 2 units against Georgia. Florida does have a dynamic quarterback. So I think that is a key in this one. You could see Georgia has had problems in the past with mobile quarterbacks. If he's able to get out and get a few explosive play touchdowns, then I think that's how Florida keeps this one within 17. Florida is also a much better team than people give them credit for this year. They just have a brutal schedule, and they looked terrible against Miami to start the year. But they're actually this may be Napier's most talented team he's ever had. It's just that you're not really going to know it because of you can't really compare this year to past year because their schedule is one of the hardest of all time in college football. So, but we're on Florida there for 2 units. Arizona State minus the 4 for 2 units against Oklahoma State. Arizona State gets the quarterback back. Something is wrong with Oklahoma State. They are truly in jeopardy of going winless in the Big 12. It will be interesting to see if Gundy lasts through that, but something is wrong. I can't. It's something that a model can't put their finger on. A model would tell you Oklahoma State should be favored in this game. I don't think it matters. Arizona State minus the 4 for 2 units. Michigan plus 15 for 2 units against Oregon. 2 times on travel for Oregon. They've done it a few weeks now. They didn't get them when they were at Purdue. Purdue is one of the worst teams in college football. Michigan here, obviously going to be outcoached. They have the worst coaching staff in Power 4, but I think their talent can keep this one within 2 touchdowns, so we have them plus 15 for 2. I also think that the Michigan defensive line, we're going to see if Oregon can truly run the ball here. They have shown signs of being able to run the ball. People point to, they tore up Ohio State's defense. Not really. They had success through the air, if you go back and rewatch that game. And then Gabriel broke off a few runs with his legs. But they didn't really torch Ohio State's defensive line in terms of run. I just go back and watch the game, I would say, and you'll see that it's a little bit less, I think, aggressive than some people made it out to be. So I really want to see if Oregon can truly establish themselves on the ground here, which I think they're going to have difficulty doing. Michigan plus 15 for 2 units. Michigan State plus 8 for 2 units. Love it. I think there's a really good chance they get the outright win against Indiana. Everyone keeps saying, hey, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio State, they got to play Michigan, they got to play Ohio State. They got to play Michigan State on homecoming today in East Lansing. Aiden Chiles, when he doesn't turn the ball over, Michigan State actually wins games. When he turns the ball over, then they lose close ones. So I like Michigan State here plus the 8 for 2 units. South Carolina, so we got it twice. We got it at plus 3 for 3 units, and then we got it at plus 3.5 for 3 units. I love it. Texas A&M, everyone's all over Texas A&M after they beat LSU for good reason. Marcel Reed threw 2 passes. Go back and look at the box score. Everyone's like, they brought in Marcel Reed. They look like the greatest team ever. They looked great. LSU just wasn't ready to defend an option quarterback. They ran read option, and they ran the ball all over LSU in the 3rd and 4th quarter. He threw 2 passes. 2. I want to see what they do against the South Carolina defensive line that is quite possibly the best in the SEC. So we'll see what happens tonight. I expect that stadium to be rocking. Night game, sandstorm, South Carolina. So we got a total of 6 units on it, 3 at the plus 3 and 3 at the plus 3.5. Washington plus 3 for 3 units against USC. Lincoln Riley on the road as a favorite, not great. So we're going to ride with Washington here. Think the kind of bounce back overall 6-6 season continues for USC, and like Jed Fish to get a win here, a big win for the Washington program. And I'm a big Will Rogers guy. I was since his time at Mississippi State. Wisconsin plus 3 for 2 units. It's plus points. They're playing Iowa. I think Iowa's like the most overrated team in the past 10 years in college football. I've thought that for a while. They had a really good defense playing Big Ten West quarterbacks and Big Ten West. I know Wisconsin's also a Big Ten West team, so that factor does play in here. But they've had a really good defense playing against very inferior offensive competition. I think that it's caught up with them a little bit this year. I think their instability at quarterback catches up with them in this one. And I like Wisconsin plus the 3 for 2 units. Tennessee minus 17 for 2 units against Kentucky. I think they blow them out. Tennessee also highly underrated, one of the best defenses in college football. Not as underrated as Ole Miss, but very underrated because they had a few games there where the offense got away from them. But Tennessee minus 17 for 2 units against Kentucky. Like I said, I don't think this one's really ever close. And then last but not least, SMU minus 7, 3 units against Pitt. finally comes to an end here for Pitt. The undefeated season, the dream season. SMU's a much better team, and 7's not enough. So we're on SMU -7 for 3 units. A little bit of futures talk. That's it for the plays on a day. But again, we do not bet futures at Bald Feather Bets. But if we were to, what would be some of the things that we looked at? Starting out in the Heisman race, you're gonna have, if you bet anyone other than Travis Hunter. I mean, I have Game Day on right now. Game Day literally brought on Travis Hunter as like just just to have him on the whole show. So you're gonna have to overcome the whole ESPN thing, is trying to give the Heisman to Travis Hunter. They did the same thing for Bo Nix last year though, and he didn't get it. Fox was also trying to give it to him because he's a Pac-12 quarterback. Oregon was going to go to the Big Ten, so you have that connection there. But everyone and their mother was trying to give Bo Nix the Heisman last year, and then obviously he lost in the Pac-12 championship game. Jaden Daniels was Jaden Daniels. He should have always gotten the Heisman. That was a kind of a joke, but he ended up winning it. So you have to overcome the fact that the media wants to give it to Travis Hunter, but there are some. So you get through those top four. The top four, everybody's plus money to win the Heisman right now. Nobody's a lock, right? Number 5, Cade Klubnik. You can get like plus 1,500, plus 1,800, plus depending on where you're at. Clemson has statistically one of the best offenses in college football now and this season. Heisman's a quarterback award. If you think that Oregon could get beat in the Big Ten championship, Colorado doesn't make the Big 12 championship, I don't care what he does. The Boise State running back, Ashton Jeanty, is not going to win it. He's a Boise State running back. He will not win the award. Cam Ward, there's a really good chance that Klubnik and Cam Ward are playing each other on ACC title weekend. We'll get to that for the futures talk. If you think that those two are going to, Klubnik's the ticket to have here from a value standpoint. He's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He will be an NFL first-round draft pick, just like Drew Aller. People who argue with me on that, they don't know what they're talking about. He's a talent. He's very good. The offense is very good. A Garrett Riley system is very good. Klubnik is good money to have. Let's take a look at national championship. Right now, the ticket that I would place would be Clemson. Talent-wise, they're a top 5 team in the country. They are rolling. They have a Garrett Riley offense. They have a very good defense. It has been a little bit porous as of late, but I think they get that cleaned up. From a value standpoint, they're really good. If Ohio State loses today, so then they have 2 losses on their resume. So they won't be in Indy. They won't be to the Big Ten championship, but fine. They will probably get then a home playoff game to start. And then they move into the next round. If Ohio State loses today, that's a ticket you're going to want to have because you're going to be getting incredible value on either the most talented or second most talented team behind Georgia in the country with one of the best coaching staffs. So that's a really good one to have. I would say that when you go into conference, what you're going to look at here is the ACC. Miami is the top, favored. Clemson's 2. Take Clemson. They're much better than Miami. They're much more talented. They have a better coaching staff. They have a better quarterback. Again, I don't really even entertain the argument. We'll let the NFL decide. But Cade Klubnik is one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Clemson will win the ACC if they get to the game, and it's a Clemson-Miami game. Miami does not have a defense. Clemson does, and they're about equal on offense with a slight edge to Miami, but not much. Big 12. All the teams are plus money to win the Big 12. I don't like BYU, is what I would say. And I have skepticism whether or not Colorado gets there, but Colorado, the value you're going to get on Colorado right now is pretty good. But between Iowa State, Kansas State, and Colorado, I forgot to give one pick. Houston plus 13 against Kansas State today, 2 units. I don't think Houston wins outright, but Kansas State has not been good on the road, which comes back into my futures talk. Iowa State, Kansas State, or Colorado, any one of those. Ultimately, it seems like Iowa State may get this one done. If Kansas State makes it to the game, I think they have a really good chance to win. Colorado, people are doubting them. I said it to start the year. I thought Colorado's defense would be improved, and if they went from one of the worst defenses in the country to slightly below average defense, then that offense could carry them, and that's what's happening. Colorado's worth a ticket here at this point. And then plus, if they get close, the narrative is going to be, Colorado in the college football playoff, imagine how the media is going to run with that, right? So it's worth it. It's worth a play. Colorado on a futures ticket to win the Big 12. SEC, as much as I hate to say it, and I truly do hate to say it, the value here is on A&M. Now, I would wait until after tonight because I think South Carolina will beat them outright tonight. But as much as I hate to say it, the value's on A&M. It is, and they get to play Texas in College Station, night game. Very good chance they win that one outright. So they'll probably be in Atlanta, even with a loss to South Carolina tonight. You have a lot of these teams that are going to play each other on the road. Georgia plays Ole Miss at Ole Miss. Tennessee plays Georgia at Georgia. It's very likely that every team in the SEC ends up with 2 losses. A&M has not lost in the SEC yet. So their one loss is to Notre Dame. That's out of conference. They're undefeated in the SEC schedule. So if they even just drop one game, they're in Atlanta. Good value, but I would wait until after tonight because I think they lose outright to South Carolina. Big Ten, Penn State's the value. You should do it right now before the Penn State-Ohio State game kicks off, just because there's some leans that look like Penn State may win that one outright. If you think that Ohio State wins, then wait to place the Penn State ticket. But if Ohio State wins, Ohio State probably isn't losing the rest of the year, so then it is probably Oregon and Ohio State and Indy. But you're not getting good value on either Oregon or Ohio State right now, so I wouldn't place either of those. I think I went through all the major ones, but that's kind of where we're looking at right now with futures for college football. Again, none of those are official picks from Bald Powder. We do not bet futures here, but that would be the ones that I would look at. So have a great Saturday. I hope you enjoy all the games. Again, please just support the channel. It's the only thing we ask. Like, share, comment. Make sure you're subscribed. Really appreciate you guys for stopping in. And we'll get at you tomorrow where we will pick every NFL game against the spread. Have a great day.